welcome back to Renee with Real Estate. Hope everyone is doing well, and Merry Christmas!
Merry Christmas!
Here we are.
Oh my goodness, it's the Christmas. It's here.
We made it today into 2022.
Is that the year?
So insane.
Almost at 2023. I was like,
Right?
where is
Yeah,
this?
right? We're almost there. It's almost
It's been a
there.
blur. It's been a
Oh my
blur.
gosh, we're
Doesn't
here.
it feel like a
It
blur?
really does. It's so crazy.
That's
so
how it
crazy.
feels.
Yeah.
Oh, but it's good to be here.
It is. So I mean, we had Christmas here last year in the office,
did we?
It wasn't really a true Christmas. Like we weren't even quite done building out. So this is like the first year we could actually have.
We put
everything
a
on.
tree up,
We did
and
put a tree up.
we put a tree up, and there were some ornaments, and I think we had like we had the fireplace
Yeah.
going.
So we
But
had
I
some
mean,
things.
it's home this year. Like,
That's right. Now it's been a full year.
full year. People,
It's amazing.
And we every day we're like, we just love it here.
Yeah. It's so great.
It's so fun.
Well, let's get cracking on some real
Cracking.
estate. Let's get to it. So, realtors are as much entrepreneurs as anyone else, as we know. Like you guys,
Yes.
you guys work hard. Like you really
We
take
are all
ownership of your business.
entrepreneurs. Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So we're going to start today with a quote by Glenn Sanford,
I love
who's actually the founder and CEO of eXp World Holdings. So this was actually in the most recent episode, we're on an episode, recent magazine of Success.
So you know
Which is amazing.
we own this.
Yeah, so, and this is
EXP, the brokerage, owns
Success Magazine.
the magazine.
And it's a great magazine. So
Yes,
lots
we
of good
read
stuff
it,
in
we love
it.
Yes.
But this is what Glenn said. He said, "You only know what you know until you know more. There is beauty in that truth. The reality of entrepreneurship is that it takes about 10 times the perceived effort to actually be successful. But if you're committed to figuring out what works, doing what it takes, being positive, building relationships with as many people as possible, being a student of business, being a student of your craft, and being 100% committed, your rates of success will match. You are worth the investment."
He's so eloquently
Oh, it's amazing.
spoken. When he was in Vegas, we've talked about this before, but you know, I even brought it up today. I went to lunch, I met an agent, came out from Roanoke, and she was like, I was telling my man about how you are done, like all my accolades. She's like, how did you do it? And she's like, do you mind me asking, like, how much have you made this year? And I was like, big question.
Right.
But, it's funny because I referenced him and I was like, we work for a company. I really look, I said, everything can be like a tree. I said this to her. I said, a tree is all kinds of branches, and the branches can produce good fruit, bad fruit, but it's the root system that matters.
Right.
What is the root system of the tree? Is the root system strong? And Glenn Sanford is our root system, and he is everything that I have said I wanted in my business, I wanted to be for my clients. That's what he is. And that quote speaks to that because he's so invested in empowering every agent that works in his organization to have more, do more, and be more.
Right.
And so I love that you pulled that quote out and that it's Glenn's because I have so much respect for him. And the fact that any broker could take their 20% or their 10% or whatever percent they're pulling from an agent. And if you're just taking that and not giving back, that's a very unbalanced relationship. And I love that Glenn is like, no, here's the 20, but I'm going to break the 20 up and return it in all these different ways back into my,
Right.
paying it forward.
Yeah. Investing in you guys.
And that's showing how we are debt free. We're like one of the #1 agencies in the world. We're like, the growth has been so quick. Though it's been like 12 years, still
Right.
to do that in 12 years is
Yeah. I mean, that many countries into
Country,
growth.
oh, well, the countries, like
I mean,
in
that's insane.
2018, they started the country's expansion, and now the pandemic, they launched in like 15. Like, so just oh, the world shut down, let's grow. Like, that should be we should face adversities with that mindset. So like, oh, okay, so this has changed, how can I grow?
Right. No, it's true. I mean, I bring this up because as we've seen so many changes in the market, and we've talked about the differences of being a realtor in pre and post pandemic worlds.
Okay.
We know the importance of how you need to continue to invest in yourself and your business in the different ways that you're able to do that. And being an entrepreneur really speaks to that because you have to take ownership of that, knowing what you're going after, what you're wanting to achieve, and then finding the way to make that happen.
I think that always is an entrepreneur. You've got in you'd be lying if you said you weren't doing what you're doing because you need to make money.
Right.
I mean, I don't think it was so altruistic. I keep thinking that Friends episode where Phoebe was like trying so desperately to do something selfless.
Right.
No matter what she did, somehow it was still serving her.
No, it's true.
It was such a fantastic episode because they kind of made a joke out of the fact that, like, at the end of the day, there is always going to be a personal drive to everything that we do. But I think the power behind all of it is that we work on focusing on bettering someone else's life, and then the rewards come in return. Because we know the money will follow. And in fact, I heard multiple billionaires sit on the same stage and say that, like, we didn't do it for the money, but the money followed.
Right.
Like, and they're like, and some of the more honest ones were like, it's not a bad thing, But they're like, but it wasn't, and still isn't the drive. And that's the thing, like, when there is this shift in the market, you have this opportunity to better yourself and improve your skill set. But if you came into this industry in the midst of a pandemic just to make a quick buck, your day is done. That's not, that market's gone. Now we're returning back to the relationships and the things that drove all industry. Anyway, you get these anomaly moments. I think everyone has anomaly moments in their business where it just turns into this thing where you're like, what was that?
Right.
But they're not the things that last. What lasts is that, one-on-one, that person to person, that we are still, as much as AI wants to disconnect us, we're still a hugely connected society.
No, absolutely.
That wants to do business with someone, and not a thing.
Right, no, that's true. I mean, and I often look to you when I think about these things, especially as it pertains to being an entrepreneur and being a realtor, because whereas some would see roadblocks and would just stop, you just find a side street and we'll just keep going. When you set a goal, you do not see roadblocks. You just find a detour, like, well, I know what my goal is, I'm gonna have to take another way to get there.
Yeah, so and it's interesting because I wouldn't say that, and we've talked about this, it's not that I don't have that moment of
doesn't mean there's not going to be fear there.
And it's not, it's that I acknowledge I'm stressing because things changed. And I'm like, but that doesn't matter. They're allowed to change. And I kind of just go, off you go, little thing. And then I, carry on to where I was. And what we fail to realize too is that sometimes those changes, whether they're initiated by us or they're brought to us, that these changes are catalysts to the next great thing. That if it was to stay the way it always was, we would always do what we've always done. You need to have life is built around change so that we can grow, because you don't grow unless something changes. So at first it's like, oh my gosh, the market slowed down, I don't have as many sales. And I'm like, but I wanted to invest in growing the brokerage, and I needed, in order to do that, I need to not have as many sales.
Right, well, it's true.
So the market just goes, okay, here's your break. Because I did not know how to slow down. I was just like, well, my problem is I don't, we just kept getting calls. I need help, and I don't know how to not help someone. And when the calls slow down, you're like, whoa, okay, so I have time to grow this way, I have time to do this, I have time to invest in other agents, I have time to do all these things I said I wanted to do, and there just was no time, now there's time.
Yeah, well, it's true. I mean, and as we've seen, being a realtor is not about being perfect. It's about being able to take the lessons that come, learn from them, and be able to keep going.
Grow.
Just be able to grow and mature in that, and then knowing how to take that further. It was funny, I think I told you this the other day, but one of the coaches that I follow online, he set his goal when he started being an online coach, and his goal was to make a video every single day for a year, because he knew that's what it would take for him to be successful. He didn't care if his hair looked great. He didn't care if he flubbed up. He didn't worry about editing. He knew he wasn't going to be perfect, but that messy action was still going to get him to his goal. So in sake of real estate, it's kind of the same thing. You're not going to be perfect. Don't let that stop you from going after your goal. Just learn and mature and grow as you go through.
I think that's, I was talking to Robin about that, because I was saying to her, we were discussing lead generation, and the thing is she was doing all these things, like cold calling and all these things that she didn't mind doing, and she just stopped. And her business stopped. And then I said, any success is built on the repetition of an activity over and over again. but there's a fine line between doing the same thing and expecting different results, because that's insanity. But there's also like habits, like you did a TikTok recently about habits and how, but forming habits that are good habits on repeat. So really, to say that man was successful because of 100 videos is not fair.
No.
Because I think 100 people could hear this and do a year worth of videos and not be successful. Like there's a lot more into that statement than just a consistent number of videos. Because there's also trends. Like what if he was at if you come in on something at the edge of something, that edge would have been his edge.
Right.
Because just like, for example, even in this business, because I really want to share this brokerage and share what I know, the edge when it was new was to get coffee with agents. Well, everyone in town, like that edge is gone.
Right.
So someone could get up and say, well, you need to go get coffee. They're just like, okay, yeah, that doesn't exist anymore. So now you have to take the idea of what worked for somebody and make it work for yourself. And it may not look like that.
No, exactly.
Like that was his success. So that's what I mean by the insanity versus repetition. Like insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. So if you're in real estate and you do, if you're doing open houses over and over again, and you're not meeting somebody that needs an agent, then we need to look at either A, open houses are not for you, or B, you're not doing the right things at the open houses. But if you did that for a year and was not so I would challenge that conversation we had.
Right.
That if anyone else was going to do videos for a full year and it wasn't getting traction, you need to do something else.
Right. Oh yeah. Like
whatever your goal is, you need to do something else. Because and YouTube, if he was YouTube, then the TikTok people came in, and now what I'm saying. Like, there's always going to be something else that you can grow into and expand on. And I think part of being an entrepreneur is hearing everyone talk and then finding your path.
Exactly. Yeah.
And finding your way to success. Yeah.
Once Jim Rohn, I don't know how to say the.
R-O-H-N.
He said success is nothing more than a few simple disciplines practiced every day.
On repeat.
Yeah.
Repeat.
Yeah, because because you did the open houses for 2 years, but that worked for you.
Steady.
But if that wasn't working, you wouldn't have kept doing it.
I would not keep going.
Like you'd have had to figure out how to pivot and figure out what was then going to work
well,
for you.
like just even now, I met an agent and she was saying how her realtor.com leads dried up, and I'm like, did they dry up or slow down? Because those are two different. Because a market can cause your leads to slow. So when the leads slow, you've got to pivot.
Right.
Like if you were leaning on Realtor and it changed, then you've got to pivot to another source until that reboots itself, right? But crazy would be to sit around waiting for Realtor to deliver in a market that that worked last month, but maybe it's not going to work this month. The consistent is that you're spending every day looking for new people to help. So I think that's really important in your business is to identify what should be on repeat.
Yeah.
Right?
True.
Like what should be on repeat, and then the vehicles of the repetition would change, right? Because I think we do a lot of disservice sometimes with these really cool quips that we say. Like, and I'm so hesitant to be like, this is what I did, because I tell everyone, like, this is what I did, but you're gonna have to make it yours. And you're gonna have to make it yours in this market, because I started in that market. It changes.
Yeah.
But the consistency for me was finding people to help. That does not change. So I think that's like no matter what business you're in actually listening to this, finding the thing that never changes and then finding different ways to do that thing would be probably closer to what he's talking about for success.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
Open houses are it. They're not. Like I just talked to someone in South Africa. They have such a high crime rate in South Africa. They're dangerous to do open houses in certain parts of the country. So that's not the answer.
Right, no.
And so she was telling me that. I said, then write that off the table. No one needs to be injured or hurt or stolen from. Let's find another way. Because again, the focus wasn't that it was open houses that made me successful. That was just the vehicle that worked at the time. But the success was I was looking for people to help. Where do I find them? All the ways, so same with the video guy. Like if he was looking for an audience, that worked for him.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't, I don't think that you are a failure or that way is a failure if it doesn't work. Failure lies in the repetition of the same thing and not getting the result you want. You need to pivot.
Not understanding how to pivot, yeah.
Yeah, you gotta pivot.
Yeah. We do that a lot in this
We
business.
just dance.
Right. Just dance all day long. Well, because if the goalpost is constantly moving, it's important to break it down into small bite-sized
Look at you with
goals.
your sports metaphor. The
Right.
goalpost is constantly moving.
That's right.
Yeah.
Moving all over the place.
It's a moving target. You can't get it. It's over there. It's over there. It's over there.
Well, because also in the magazine that we have been talking about, one of the entrepreneurs that was highlighted was Natasha Graziano, which was a rags to rich story. But her second book that came out recently is titled "Be It Until You Become It."
So
like,
we
well,
also
that's
know
big
that.
story
We also know that in like decades ago, fake it till you make it.
Right.
Because she just redid that phrase. And I lived by that. Like
Yeah.
I've always done things at a level greater than what I should have been doing them. You know, and I just stepped into the role. Like I think sometimes you just have to step into it and own it.
Yeah, no, you do. And I mean, now as adults, we now realize that this is what everyone has been doing before us.
They
No
just
one
did
knows
the same
that's what they're
thing.
doing. We're just figuring it out as we go along.
And we have fun doing it though. That's what it is too. It's like
You just approach it with confidence.
yes.
So it's never
And then in time, and you can squash that time. You know, you grow confident, more confident, and move with greater ease.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
yeah.
So we're about to move into 2023.
Let's make our goals.
Make our goals
We gotta make
happen.
some goals.
That's right.
I know.
Are you ready?
Are we doing Fun Fact Christmas Friday?
Fun Fact Friday.
Fun Fact Friday. I feel like, do you remember that little kids show where they got clapped over their heads? Do you remember that kids show? Yeah, it's
Oh, I
old.
love it. We have to figure out what that was.
I don't remember either.
All right, so this isn't Christmas related, but this is a crazy fun fact. So
I love crazy. Let's
yeah. All right, so the largest tree house in the world is in Crossville, Tennessee. The owner, his name is Horace Burgess. He said he felt that he was personally contacted by God to construct this house, and it's called the Minister's Tree House. But this is where it gets crazy. The dimensions of this house are truly gigantic. The 10-story structure is supported by 6 oaks and more than 250,000 nails that have been used since 1993. If you add the floors together, the living space sums up to more than 3,000 square meters, and it took 14 years to complete the house.
So just so you know, square meters are actually like 3 feet.
Yeah, it's
So
massive.
3,000 square meters is more like 10,000 square
Yeah.
feet.
So, but since it was all made out of wood, like there were no other components, like it's literally like a wood cabin.
It's in the trees?
It is in the
I feel
trees.
like we need a picture of this.
It only cost about $12,000 to actually build. Because it was literally all wood. It's all trees. It's literally a tree
That
house.
sounds like a termite's dream.
So
I'm just thinking about like.
it was actually condemned. Because
I.
the fire marshal came and he's like, this is just, this is just such a hazard. They're like, you cannot keep.
This is so dangerous.
Because people were like coming in and taking tours. It became like this big spectacle. He's like, no. He's like, this is just
So now it's
lawsuits
just
everywhere.
a rotting
It's
structure.
just a rotting structure, like that you can't even go into anymore.
We'll have to drop a link.
Yeah,
So you guys
so
think that's wild.
the pictures were wild.
That is so wild.
Yeah.
Oh,
All right.
well, thank you for joining us.
You guys have a Merry Christmas. See you next time. Is that not crazy?
That's insane.
I'll show you the photos because it's nuts.
No, we have to
Like
drop a
frickin'
link into
Frickin' log cabin.